Hey folks, what's up? Mike Benton here from the Mike Benton team. Thank you so much for plugging in. As I say each and every week, if you haven't had a chance to subscribe, share, like, follow, broadcast it out to all your social media friends, please do it. It would mean the world to us. So today's topic, as you know, for the last 27 years, we've focused on estates and probates. And this is a question I get on a regular basis. Now, full disclaimer, we are not attorneys. We are full-time realtors, but we do work with a team of experts, and that is a lot of attorneys. So if you're interested in sitting down with one, let us know where you're from or what area you're in, and we'll match you up with the one that we believe is going to be the best one for your needs. So, having said that, today is about wills versus trust. What is the difference, and why do you need to know? You need to know because it could save your family a lot of money and a lot of headache and a lot of butting heads. And this is what I mean. What is a will? A will acts as a set of instruments for the probate court. It tells the probate court what to do with X, Y, and Z. It could be about guardianship. It could be about houses, cars, boats, vacation, money, whatever it may be. It directs them on where to go. Now, the will's got to be approved and validated by the register of wills. And in Maryland, a probate court a case has to be, or a estate has to be open for 6 months, 1 day. Now, how does a trust work? A trust is totally different than a will. Any assets that are placed in a trust are owned by the trust, not you. So when you die, the trust steps in and is actually the ownership of the trust. So whatever the trust layout is, the beneficiary or whomever is in that trust will get whatever is in that trust. And mostly it's about houses. So that house will skip probate and go directly to whomever the trust names as the beneficiary. So that's number one. Now, privacy versus public. A will is public information. Once you file in the state of Maryland, it becomes public. But when it's about a trust is never public. A trust is a private contract not filed with the courts. And so none of that information is put out there on the streets. I have another thing. What should you use? So we just talked about a will. Also, when it comes to guardianship, how does a will work? Well, a trust has nothing to do with guardianship, but a will does. In other words, you can say, if my wife pass away, we want my sister to step in as guardian of our son or daughter. A trust does not do that. A trust is very important when it comes to your properties. Why? Because when it comes to a will, if you pass away and there's nobody named to get the property, then it's going to go through the probate process. And again, it's going to be open up for a minimum of 6 months, 1 day. And then the heirs are going to get the proceeds more than likely. So it's going to go through the whole process. If it's in a trust, then it doesn't. It skips the whole probate and you can go right from zero to home ownership quickly. All right. Now, when should you use it? Well, if you have a small estate, maybe even one home, maybe you could do a trust if you have one home, but a small estate, a will is perfectly fine. Just make sure you reevaluate it every couple of years. And then the second is a trust. If you have multiple properties, maybe in multiple states, or you have ownership of commercial, industrial houses, that's where really a trust is going to come into play. It's not saying you can't have it if you have one property, but what we see is most people that has a small estate, one property, maybe it's more of a will. If they have multiple properties in the trust, either or will work. It's up to you and the dollar amount that you want to spend. So I hope that makes sense. The difference between a will and a trust in the state of Maryland. Every state's differently. So this is about the state of Maryland. If you have any other questions, reach out, give us a call, let us know what we can do. We would love to sit down with you so you can experience the benefits. Have a great one.